Hello, this is the 7th video in the DragonBones series, and we will continue where we left off on the previous one with the Little Viking. In this video, we will attempt to create a few simple game animation cycles for this little fella here on screen. Now, let's move on to the animation part of DragonBones. We're going to attempt to do a few animation cycles, very simple ones. Let's say for a video game at 30 frames per second. I've already changed my frames per second to 30. If you haven't, you can change yours because it should be saying 24 on your screen. And let's go ahead and animate this little fella. So we don't use this first animation here. We clone this and we're going to work on the new one and we're going to name it Idle. And the idle is the most default basic animation we do on most characters. It's the one that just stands still and breathe, just stand there. So let's set this fella up to have him there standing and breathing. Now we have to set him up properly because he's holding two swords now. We don't want to. Let's get rid of the sword on his arm. So let's just find where it is. Body, right arm, sword. There it is. And I click on the image sword and go up here to the properties panel to the left, go to display and hit none and keyframe it. There you go. And I also want to have his eyes open, so go to head, find the eyes closed, and also turn that to none. Now let's go ahead and create a little breathing cycle. Very simple. How are we going to achieve this? We are not going to really animate the all these IKs here, although we set them up, because breathing is just the body. You can see the body like huffing and puffing. How are we going to do that? We're going to hit the bone on the body here. Here it is. If you've got it, the selectability off, turn it on so you can select it. And all we need to do is say on frame 0, we're going to keyframe its position where it is. On frame 30, again, as it is. And we go in the middle on frame 15 and slightly move it down a bit and keyframe it. Let's see what this simple thing did. I'm going to turn the bones off. There he is. He's breathing. That's how simple it was, just for a little game character. Now we can add a little more character to this idle animation. Let's say he's tired or he's a happy fella. So let's turn the bones back on, and let's add a little bit of a bob to his head, a little bit wobble. He goes. Always the habit we have, we keyframe everything. The same frames are going to be on 30 and on 0. So on 0 we hit the IK for the head as it is, and again on 30. And we go to 15, and let's say it just goes a bit to the side on this, that way or that way? No, that way, up front, like that, just there. Keyframe it. What did that do? There he is. Oh, I'm tired. Maybe it's a bit too much. Go back to 15 and lessen it. Just a wee bit. There it is. There he is. Now, since he's going up and down, we need to add a little bit of movement, a wobble, to the sword end's back. Again, we keyframe the IK as it is without moving it on 0 and on 30. And on 15, let's slightly move it down there and keyframe it. What does this do? Yep. And why not have a little blink on the second half of the animation? Hi, we go maybe to frame 18. Go to the image called eyes closed. Now, and they're already off, none. So on 18, we hit turn them on, keyframe it, maybe go for 1, 2, 3, 4 frames, and then turn them to none again. What did that do? Oh, look, he's blinking. And maybe as he's huffing and puffing, maybe on the way down, he opens his arms a bit. So let's turn the bones on again. We select both of these IKs on and keyframe as they are on 0 and on 30, and go to 15, and each one like slightly, let's move you out a bit. Keyframe it and move you out the other way about a bit. Yeah, because you're a big fella. Let's look. There he is. And we have a little Viking standing there breathing, huffing and puffing. Cool, let's save this. Now we can use the idle. This little Viking is going to have two states in idle animation. Either he's going to be armed or unarmed. Right now he's unarmed. So let's just clone this and call it now idle armed. And all we need to do is swap two images and create the armed idle pose. How do we do that? Well, we can go to the sword. First of all, make sure you're at frame 0. We go to the sword and change it to on and keyframe it. and then go to the folder with the sheath. We select it, and instead of having the sword in there, we're going to turn it to the other image, keyframe it, and now we have idle armed. So we have idle unarmed and idle armed. The only thing I might need to work on is a little bit, adding a little wobble to the sword. So I'm going to turn these on because we didn't need to work on the sword, on the bone here, on the unarmed animation. So I'm going to keyframe it as it is on 0 and on 30. And because on 15, what does his arm do? It goes up a bit. Maybe the rotation goes a little bit up like that. There it is. And we have already 2 idle animations we need for this little game character. Either if he's got the sword out or he doesn't. It's perfect. Let's save it. Now, let's create our walk animation. I'm going to take the idle and clone it. And I'm going to rename it to walk. All I need to know from down here is the 0 and 30 keyframe. The rest in the middle, I'm going to go up on the little dots here and delete all of them for now. Now, let's think about the walk animation. We have him standing there. This is the position that, like when you walk, your legs go apart, you have a stride, then they come together similar to an idle, they meet, and then they go apart again, but on the opposite way. So we have left foot front, right foot back, then they sort of come together, and then the other way around, right foot front, left foot back. Now, we're going to start off with the crossover position, the middle one. We're going to keep that. We're going to have a stride all the way to 15. They're going to cross over again. So at 15, we're literally going to copy all these frames and paste them at 15. And all we need to do is create one stride here and one stride there. I hope we can do this. So let's go to the middle point between 0 and 15, somewhere 7 or 8. I'll choose 7 for now. I'm going to turn these on and start off with left foot front. First of all, there's no keyframe on 0. First mistake, I have to go to 0, make sure there's a keyframe there. There's a keyframe at 30 and at 15. And the same for the other leg. There's a keyframe there as it is on 0, on 15 and on 30. So now it's already there. Let's go to 7. Left foot front, keyframe, right foot back, keyframe. I know it looks funny, but we're going to fix this. And somewhere between these two, so there it goes. Maybe on 22, I'll go on 23. Now, right foot front, keyframe, left foot back, keyframe. Let's see what we have right now. Yeah, it's a bit comical. We're going to fix it. Now, how do we fix it? Usually when we're walking, the moment that our legs are apart, we have the stride, our center of gravity, our body is sort of lower, a little bit lower. So we have to create that up and down movement of the body. Let's go to the bone of the body. There it is. And say, we have it ready at the normal position at 0, 15, and 30, but on 7, we're going to move it down a little bit, keyframe it, and I'm going to copy that and go to 23. Yeah, was it there? Yeah, I think 23. And paste it. What does that do? I'm going to turn these off. It already looks a little bit better. Yeah, look at a little character. Yeah, walking across. Let's create now the swing of the arms to go with it. So we select each arm. Okay, they already have keyframes properly. At the key points, we want 0, 15, and 30. And what happens? What happens at 7? If the left foot is front, so the left arm goes back. Nice big swing. And then as we move forward on 23, it moves forward. I'll call that forward. And let's hit the right arm. On 7, that goes front. Ooh. And on 23, it goes back and sort of hidden. We're going to work on that sword later on, aren't we? Now, what do we have here? Let's check this out. Ooh, little Viking. He's alive. Save it. Let's work on that sword on his back. So as he goes down for a stride, that should be going downwards. So it already has keyframes at 0, 15, and 30. You can see the pattern here, how when we talk like indie little cutie games, how the cycles work, you have specific pattern you work with, and you just, you know, just create repetitions. Let's go move that down there, and I'm just going to copy this keyframe, copy, and go to 23 and paste it. Did that work? Yep. Whoa, that has got some weight to it. I'm okay with it. Maybe I need to just take it a wee bit back from there and there. Yeah, there, and from there to there. And while I'm at it, why not put a little wobble at its head? So maybe on one stride, it goes, his head goes one way, and then back to the middle, and the other, you know, the other side. And what did that do? Look at him! Look at him go! Little Viking. Amazing! He's done. And you know what? Why not put a little blink here at the end? Let's do that. Yeah. He has some keyframes from before. I don't know why. Okay, now I know why. So I deleted the keyframes for the eyes. I'm going to go back to have them. No, and maybe here they turn. They close for a bit, a few frames, and then away with you. There it is. The little Viking's walking. And you guessed it now. All I need to do is clone the walk, name it walk armed. Armed. And what do? We need to swap out those two images for the sword. So we go to frame 0. That's all we need to do. And just click on the, there we are, on the sheath. And we're going to start off with none. Perfect. So what do we need? The sword to be in his hand. There should be a keyframe there. I don't know why. Let me turn this on. Perfect. So we have a walk cycle with now the sword in hand. And all we need to do is work on this little bone here. So we need a keyframe at 0 always. There we go. Keyframe at 30. Keyframe at 15. And what happens? When it goes to 7, the highest, that should be like up there. Look at my sword. 7. But when he goes back, it's like down here. Careful. I'm going to poke you all. Out of my way. Viking coming through. There we are. So we have idle, idle armed, walk, walk armed. The only two animations left, there's actually 3, is how he gets a hold of his sword, how he puts it back, and maybe an attack. Let's go into get sword and put sword away. So I'm going to get the idle. I'm going to clone it. I'm going to call it idle sword. What am I writing? Sword get. Yeah, he gets the sword. So I'm going to. He's sort of doing that. All I need to do is, the idea is he's somewhere like as he's here. I'm going to delete this keyframe now from the idle, so it's just staying there, and it's going to raise his hand like there. Hold it for a while at that position, maybe up to here, or maybe up to 18. Let's see, because he's waiting for the sword to appear. What I'm going to, you can see because of the anatomy, how I've drawn this character, definitely he can't reach back there. This is a little cute game character, so it's going to magically like appear into his hand. He's got the sword. He's waiting for the sword to appear, and then he goes. So, since he's waiting, what do we do? Once his hand goes there, maybe at this frame here, at maybe 13, the sword appears in his hand, where at this frame, it disappears from his back. Let's see what we did. Swap. And technically that's right, but it doesn't look good. It looks dumb. So, he gets the sword. It's like, I have the sword. Why am I not moving this? Let me turn the sword. I don't want to interact with it anymore. I have the sword. I have the power. Yes, he does that. And let's animate also the sword. So the sword appears like that there. Of course, and I have to bring it down. I have to bring it down here. So what do we do? Let's see. And the sword appears in his hand. Look at that. So we have now sword, get sword. And I'm looking at my stopwatch, and this is the first video that's going over 15 minutes. I knew this would happen. Oh. So now he gets the sword. We have that, and all we need to do is do the opposite now. Clone this and call it sword away. Away with you, sword, away. So we're going to go to the beginning, and we're going to do this. We're going to say the sword is already in his hand. No. Yeah. Sword, it's already there. And at that frame, it disappears. Where we're going to go to the sheath set and say, there is no sword on his back, and at that frame, it appears. Let's see. Away with you, sword. Away. Save. I know I'm being funny. But, you know, sometimes you work away in a dark room as an animator or as a game artist or whatever, and you really have to get into the character, or else your work is not going to be fun. You know, this is a kind of job sometimes, or a hobby, where it doesn't just work 8 hours a day. You got to put in all the hours you can to get the best possible result in a deadline you have given to yourself or someone's given to you. So try to have fun when you're working on these little characters. I mean, especially if you want to do this for life. I know people might think you're funny, but it's, you know, it's escapism, your little world. So let's do this. What you have so far? We have idle. We have idle armed. We have idle get sword, idle sword away, idle walk, and idle armed. So let's see how these work in a little scenario. The character's just standing there. He goes for a walk. La 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 la. He stops. Is that an enemy in front of me? Let me get my sword. And now I'm going to walk armed right up to him. And after the battle's over, he stops armed. He goes, now I can put my sword away. And now I'm going to walk away. La la la. So the only animation left we haven't done is the attack. And you know, it's very simple. We're just going to take the... there's actually 2 attacks we can do. We can do idle attack and walk attack. Now, do I do him now or another video? I'll do him now. Let's see. So I'm going to copy the idle armed, clone, and I'm going to call this idle attack. And I'm going to delete all these ones in the middle. So all we need to do is to create a silly little attack animation. Yeah, you get it. It's going to be like that scene from you know, but with Buzz Lightyear, where Woody was just pressing the buttons back and it's like doing karate chop, cha cha cha. So we're going to do this. He's like, I'm going to attack. That goes there. Sword attack, and then down quickly down. That goes there. There. Let's see. And maybe a thrust forward. I'm no swords master. Yeah. Oh, this is a special attack. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then yeah, and then back to this. So I'm going to copy these 2 frames and put them back here. This is pretty quick, but you get the whole thing. Let's see. Yeah. Rah. Attack, attack. And while he's doing that, you know, he's like putting, you know, effort into it. So he's like, so, and while he's thrusting forward, his other arm, you know, it's there. It sort of swings back because he's putting effort into it. Rah, 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 rah. And I'm really into this now, aren't I? Copy. Paste. And maybe a little bit of so he's let me think. He's going there. He's slowly going a little bit down. He's getting ready. So, ooh, and he's moved forward like this. Maybe even, yeah, I'm going all out on this one, aren't I? Just leans forward a bit. Look at me, look at me. No. He leans a little forward. Oh, this is going to be so comical. And back. And you know what? His little leg goes like, Gah! Does that. And then I'm going to copy this back and put it back at 22. Okay, this is too silly. Look at him, little Viking staying there. These two need to go slower. I'm actually liking this. So that has to go there, and that has to go there. Maybe even he closes his eyes in that moment, right? Like he's trying to be brave, but he's like, I really can't stand the sight of blood. I can't. So he closes his eyes a bit and then opens them again. Let's look at this now. There we go. Look at him. And there's my little idle attack. I think I'm going to get rid of this keyframe. Yeah, and you know what? Put a bit of movement on the head, so he goes, let me see, body goes down, let me see again. So his head might slowly tilt a little bit backwards, getting ready. And he's moving forward. It's like, yeah, I'm going all in. I believe in this. And then I'm going to go, head goes back. You know what? Doesn't go, it goes forward, comes back. Let me play this. Attack. Standing still. Look at my little Viking. Look at my little Viking. Look at my little Viking. Yes, he's got the best standing still attack. Yes. Let's say this. And now, since I've had a lot of fun, I'm going to go and work on the walk animation. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Clone. So he walks. La, 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 la. So we're going to do, actually, this is going to be the Buzz Lightyear thing where his arm's just going to be going full, you know, karate chops. Does it have key? Sword? No interaction. Let me see. So he goes up. Yeah, delete. Bye-bye, bye-bye, you. So it goes up. It goes there. I'm going to have a little pattern it's going to be doing. And goes up there. I got an idea. Copy. That's going to go there. So it's like, I'm thinking, guys, I'm thinking. It's going to be double jabs, like, pop, pop. So what I'm thinking, so it goes there, it goes back there. Jab, jab. So while it's walking forward, keyframe. This guy, I don't know what he's doing, but I'm going to fix it now. So I want him like that there, and I want him, no. So let me think of it. Hand goes up. That, I want that at 15 again. Good. Now I'm getting a hold of it. Let me look at the hand again. So up to 6 and 24. I'm going to move you there. So I'm going to copy these keyframes. This fella, copy to 6 and 24. And now I'm going to do the throat, that part. Jab, jab. Attack, attack. Yeah, look at me go. Attack, attack. Ah, rah, rah, rah. Definitely, I'm sure you can all do much better than this, but you get the idea. And he's too happy. He's like, attack. Again. Attack. Oh, he closed his eyes. Attack, attack, attack. attack, attack. And this arm's going to be more like attack. And again, attack. There we go. Let me see. Yeah. I'm coming forward to you because I'm like, There you go. Now, definitely, you all have the art assets. You can spend more time at this and do more animations. And you might want to actually add more art assets to it. You might actually have also a bow in his back, so he actually pulls a bow and a bow and arrow, or he has a a two-handed sword or something. But this is what we do, and we have now. We have the walked armed. Definitely got to name this walk attack. Now, these must look funny, but this is a fun little cartoony character. And we have now the animation. So scenario is, one day the Viking was standing there and he went for a walk. Ooh, he saw a big monster in front of him. So he stopped again and goes like, I gotta get ready. Now I'm gonna walk forward towards the monster. And I'm going to attack and push it back. Oh, but the monster, I couldn't push it anymore. So now I'm going to attack it standing still. Very nicely. And then, ooh, that's done. So now I'm just going to stand there with my weapon and look at it. Ooh, is he dead? Yeah, it's dead. Wait, it's dead. So let's put the sword away. And now I'm going to walk away. Walk away. So the only animation I haven't done is the walking backwards. But that's pretty easy. You know how to do it. What we're going to look at on the next video is now, since we have a character and we've animated different animation cycles, all the same pattern, 30 frames per second, and we've named them nicely, we're going to look at exporting. And exporting for two different, let me just put something silly on screen while I talk. Yeah, that's nice there. We're going to look at exporting these animations, and there's two. There's exporting animations as frames, just plain frames, all the cycles with their names, so you can either use them in a game in the old-fashioned way, or you can use them in film, in animation, put them maybe on a timeline in some editing like Premiere or Photoshop or even DaVinci Resolve or anything, and do it there. Or we can export this as a JSON file with a atlas map and import them into a game engine like Unity. I'm going to have a look at both of those, make sure I can do them correctly, and make a video. Next video, we just look at exporting, and also exporting not only the frames, but also exporting at what size we export things. So I hope you all had as much fun as I had with this and got carried away, because you got to have fun when animating. You know, the same way you got to have drawing. I mean, these are part of you. These are your characters. These are things you dreamed about, and just have fun while working on this stuff. Anyway, that's all for today. Take care. Bye-bye.